Ladies and gentlemen, Kocosports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room, and of course, here I am, the sexiest man on all Urban Wrestling Radio. Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Holy shit, guys! It's good to be back. I don't know if y'all remember this, but I'm Boom Boom. I'm one third of the Coco crew here, along with Dave Coco and Sammy Sinister. I know we haven't done any shows as of late, but we've all been working hard. Some of you may remember I've been working 2 jobs right now. Sammy is managing like several retail stores, and Dave Coco is teaching full time. But I do have some good news here before we get started here. I'm just going to let you know you can expect to see some changes for the better coming up soon. I'm almost done with my hardships. I've been working 60, 70 hours a week. I've already I took a part-time job on top of my full-time job to pay off some of my wife's medical bills. And as of now, I am almost, fingers crossed, almost done with it. So just give me a few more weeks, we'll be done. I've spoken with Dave Coco. He's in the process of getting a new job. He'll with this new job, provided he gets it, he'll be able to work more. He'll work less hours, get more money, so he'll quote unquote have more time for nerding. So you can expect to see Dave Coco come back in the coming weeks. Sammy, I really haven't talked about his job situation yet, but I think it's just with him, it's just going to be a matter of timing and finding out what's going on out there. So I want to thank everybody for being patient with us. I know I'd gotten a message from LK. He's like, dude, I will come on here and do shows. Just let me. I'm just so sad that I don't see any new content. But that's why. What can I say? Real life gets in the way of the internet. It's just a rough patch. 2017 has been pretty rough for all of us here. So, but we're just gonna have to get through it. And speaking of getting through things, I slogged through TripleMania 25. That is the biggest event of the year for the AAA promotion down in Mexico. And this year, after last year's debacle with all the sound issues, and then they had to issue refunds and everything, AAA wised up a little bit, and they gave away the pay-per-view for free. You could watch it live on Twitch with English commentary. And as far as what I thought about it, do I give it a win? Do I give it a loss? Do I give it a tie? To be honest, I've got to give it a loss. This is, even though it did have its bright spots, just the whole event itself, in my opinion, it closely resembled a monkey fucking a coconut, because that's what it was. It was just a train wreck from beginning to end. Virtually, there was virtually every match was the same. It was like the Mexican version of WWE. Yeah, I know. I hate to usually call people names, but that's pretty much what it was. It was Mexican WWE. There was just a huge clusterfuck. You just overbooked, too many people, too many fuck finishes, too much outside interference. Nothing meant anything. It was just they sent people out there, and it's okay. So how are we going to deal with this here? All right, so let's get down to it here. We had a couple of pre-show matches here. We had here's another thing. Here's what made things a little difficult. The English version, like the 2 commentators, I cannot remember their names. I think it was KG or something like that. No, it was Kevin Gill and Gabriel Ramirez. They were from Pro Wrestling Revolution, if I remember correctly. That's indie out of California. These poor guys, they didn't know what the fuck was going on. The only thing these guys were good for was providing translations from Spanish into English in real time. I will give them that. I was glad that could be done. Hey, New Japan, look into that for your fucking shit coming up here. So that was good, but they had no idea what the matches were, who virtually any of they knew who some of the luchadors were, but they didn't knew them all. They didn't know much of the backstories. They didn't know the rules. They didn't know what was going on. So, you're just kind of like struggling to get to this pay-per-view because you really have no idea what's going on. So starting out, let's see, we had we had a couple of pre-show matches. First is Ashley, Dragon Solar, Pardux, and Solaris over Bronco Gonzalez, Chicano, Fetishi, and Astashari, and Lavi a la Glorias Fanas. And by the way, I should mention that my Spanish is fucking horrible. So if you're like, that's not how you say that, motherfucker, that I will tell you up front, my Spanish fucking sucks. Okay, when it comes to Spanish, I have the speaking and comprehension ability of a toddler. So if I fuck up something, just let it slide, man. My Spanish is horrible. This was something. It was basically, it was. I guess it was kind of like they're tough enough competition there because they had Fabi Apache, La Parca, and Vampiro. They were down there. Was a couple of pre-show matches, and they were basically these were like the trainees. They were, I guess, judging, who they were going to sign, who they were going to put, who they were going to, what they were going to do, because they're AAA is pretty much in a flux position right now. They brought in Vampiro to lead the company. And if you indulge me for 1 second here, I can give you a little bit better idea of what's going on here, because one of their head guys just passed away recently. And okay, let me see. Give me this technical difficulty brought to you by Kocosports.com, Kocosports.net. Okay, here we go. And no. Anyway, I've got the page here, but I don't see. But one of their head guys passed away earlier this year, back this spring, and so they've got Vampiro pretty much taking over the company. Guiding everything from top to bottom. So with Vampiro at the helm, they've got him going. But anyway, those three beat the other three. Angelica, oh fuck me, El Hijo de Vicano, Vaquino, the son of the Vikings, what it translates, and the Tigger over the Angel Mortal Jr., Tiger Boy, and Viano 3 Jr. Again, a lot of these earlier matches, I really wouldn't encourage checking out. These are the trainees. I mean, it's just like, I thought reading this, it looks like it's something like a 6-man tag, but if you actually watched it, I mean, you would think it was something like a battle royal. It was just multiple people in the ring at the time, people jumping around, springing off the ropes, doing some dives. It just really didn't make a lot of sense. And, and I don't know what you're saying. Well, maybe there's some things that don't translate, because, your Mexican style is different than your American style versus different than your Japanese style, which is different than your British style. To me, it just looked like, again, a monkey fucking a coconut. Okay, then we get to we start that. We had a little Joaquin Roldan. That's who passed away. He took over for Antonio Pena, who passed away. God, I think he passed away in 2010? Anyway, I'll get, we can get into the history. In fact, if you want to look, I would encourage everybody to look up the history of AAA. Just go to the Wikipedia page, Lucha Libre AAA Worldwide. Just check it out. It gives you a bit more backstory. But all right, let's see here. They did a nice video package. I will give them that. It was a nice video package. But when we get to the first here, it's the Revelos Atomicos de Locura. Basically, it's like this huge, insane mixed tag match. The only people you're going to recognize out of this one is Hernandez and nothing. No, Hernandez is the only one you're going to recognize out of this. I was going to say I thought it was Pimpernella Escarlata from nope, no, from Lucha Underground, but no, Hernandez was the only one I recognized. Basically, it was like this mixture of like circus freaks here. You have like a legit wrestler with a woman, with an exotico, with a mini. But anyway, Hernandez, Mini Psycho Clown, La Hydra, and Mamba defeated Big Mami, Dinastia, Estrella Divina, and Mascara de Branco. It was after I think it was Hernandez, somebody clocked Big Mommy, which is just what you think she is. She's this big old fat Mexican lady who did a dive. And I think one of the funniest fucking moments was when the commentators go, oh, you know, I want to see Big Mommy fly. Here we go. Oh, is there anything Big Mommy can't do? And I, without missing a beat, I said, yeah, touch your fucking toes. Oh, I know, too brutal. And again, this was just a clusterfuck here because they start blatantly doing chair shots, and I'm like, okay, is this no DQ? Is this like ECW where there are essentially no rules? What's going on? I mean, I really had no idea what's going on. Commentary really didn't help. It was just, you can skip this one. This next match, the Reina de Reinas championship match, you need to check out because you need to see where the controversy is. This was like the most controversial match of the night. This kind of overshadowed the whole event in the aftermath. This was a four-way women's match. You had Sexy Star, the champion, defending against Ayako Hamada, she's actually the daughter of Grand Hamada. She's half Mexican, half Japanese, and a wrestler, and a good-looking lady. I'm like, damn, my penis can only get so erect. I mean, that's like all my favorite things all rolled into one. If she can cook, hell, I may just tell my wife it's over and go look up this girl. Lady Shania and Rosemary. Now, here's the thing. I watched this after knowing everything, after hearing all the news about Sexy Star cheating on Rosemary. And I started looking and I started watching this match, and I watched it as closely as I could. Now, had I not known any better, I just would have thought everybody was selling. This is nothing out of the ordinary because the previous match had a chair shot in it to a woman, to Big Mommy. And I know the chaotic, the trainees matches had been a little chaotic. So to me, this kind of blended in. Now, the story goes, and I take this for what it's worth, is that Lady Shania, quote-unquote, shot on Sexy Star. Now, you're thinking, well, where the fuck does Rosemary fall in this? That's a good question. Sexy Star really hasn't said anything on it. I mean, she released like this. The translation was just, I don't know if it was a bad translation, but it was just like this rambling response. But GFW and Rosemary have, spoken out on it. They're saying, look, Triple H treated us well. This was just a bad situation. A lot of wrestlers have heard about it, and Sexy Star is pretty much, at least for right now, going to be, it sounds like, I mean, even though it's going to be like this unofficial blackball from the United States for right now, because they're, a lot of big names. You're talking like Cody Rhodes. You're talking Road Dogg. You're talking a lot of people are calling on promoters to not book her here, at least not in the United States or wherever they're at, not to book her because of that. Because you have to. I mean, the number one rule about wrestling is you always have to protect your opponent. You don't have to like them, but they trust you to take care of them. And it's one thing if it's an accident. It's one thing if it's a receipt, but just to blatantly go out there and hurt someone just fucking because, I mean, that's just crossing the line, and that's fucking bullshit. But anyway, looking at the match itself, the only place that I could see maybe where Lady Shania, quote unquote, shot on Sexy Star was a chair shot early on. Sexy goes to the outside, and it was really just Rosemary, Hamada, and Shania. And so, but eventually Sexy Star goes back in. She puts a cross armbar on Rosemary. The referee, she taps out. Referee calls the match, but she keeps cranking on that arm. It's not long, but she keeps cranking on it. And from what I understand, Rosemary did suffer a legit injury from that. Now, thankfully, according to Rosemary, it's not as bad as first thought. So I'm thinking just a little R&R will probably be the best medicine for her right now. Everybody was pissed off about that. Vampiro apologized. Vampiro forced Sexy Star to apologize. It was a big clusterfuck. WrestleCon has canceled Sexy Star's appearance. That's a little event in North Carolina. They canceled her, but they put in Rosemary in her place, which I think is appropriate. I think the thing that just kind of drives me crazy about this is I just wish Sexy Star, one, would explain what the fuck actually was going on here. If Lady Shania is shooting on Sexy Star, why does Sexy Star take it out on Rosemary? And don't say wrong place, wrong time. I mean, that's just, it's one thing to be pissed off, but taking it out on somebody who had nothing to do with it, that's fucking bullshit. And I really wish she would own up to it, apologize for it, learn from it, and move on. Just move forward. Come on. And all this comes about because the whole shit with Taya. Now, and God, don't make me get it. Well, actually, yeah, because I think this is more interesting than what was going on the pay-per-view. Taya. Now, the reason she was the Reina de Reinas champion, and Vampiro, just out of blue, tells her fiance Johnny Mundo. Yep, those two are, Ty and Johnny Mundo are a couple now. I didn't know that, but congratulations to them. They're happy. It's all matters. Said, hey, could you bring the belt, the Reina de Reinas championship down, for some kind of photo shoot? And he's like, oh yeah, okay. So he goes down there, and then out of nowhere, Vampiro announces that he stripped Taya of the championship because she used a choke in a no DQ match against Ayako Hamada, and said that she no-showed a match that she was booked for. Well, here's the problem. Well, for one, kayfabe was, well, it's a no disqualification match. Why you disqualify me for a choke? But that aside, the match the event that Vampiro said that she skipped, she wasn't even booked for. And this is according to Taya, so please take that. And really, Vampiro hasn't denied that. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but they've turned this into a shoot, and we'll get to that. They worked a shoot out of this, worked an angle out of this on AAA, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So they had a tournament. Sexy Star won. So there's the big. So this is the biggest event of the year. So they decided to have a 4-way, and we get this. So I would say check it out for yourself to see what the controversy is all about. And I am not defending Sexy Star. I know everybody's going to say, Mark, boom, boom. Look, Sexy Star, that's your Mexican internet wife. Rosemary, that's Sammy's future ex-wife. My internet wife beat up his future ex-wife. Ha, ha, ha. But no, that aside, I could be disappointed and say that she made a poor decision, and I really wish she would own up to it. I'm not going to abandon her and say I hate her and spit on her and everything, but I'm going to say what she did was wrong. I really wish she would just apologize for it, own up to it, and move on, and don't be difficult to work with, especially after she, quote unquote, retired, then had a change of heart. So, but I would say check it out for yourself. And I think one thing that maybe added the confusion, and this was part of all the matches, is they didn't have a bell in AAA. And some of you are scratching your head like, how could the fuck can you not have a bell? Well, anything to start, they had like this whistle. It sounded almost like a train whistle, like a high-pitched train whistle. That's what started the matches. And whenever a match was over, you were dependent upon the audio operator to start playing music. That's how you knew a match was, because the referee would count 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. We got a winner here. Then the audio guy would play the music. There'd be no bell, no indication. So when Sexy Star locked on that armbar, referee goes, okay, she tapped out. It's over. It's over. And she keeps cranking on there. And I'm not saying, I'm not making excuses for her. Again, what she did was wrong. But I'm saying maybe she didn't hear it. Or maybe she was being an ass and wanted to haze the newsgirl. Maybe she was just pissed off that somebody shot on her. She was pissed the fuck off, wanted to take it out on somebody, and Rosemary just happened to be there. I don't know. And I'm not making excuses, not justifying it, because what she did was unjustifiable. Rosemary did not deserve what happened to her. So I do want to stress that. But I would say check it out for yourself so you can see what the controversy is all about. Let's see. Anyway, remember back to the trainees. He selected Ashley, Hijo del Vikingo, and Angel. Oh, what the fuck? The Angel dude. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My Spanish is horrible. Somebody's laughing at me right now because I can't pronounce this shit. But he announced him as a winner, but he says that's not all. All the 14 competitors that were left over, they're going to be the first class of the new AAA wrestling school. That includes the son of Viano 3. So it's actually going to be kind of cool. What can I say? Vampiro's got a lot of work ahead of him, and we'll explain why a little bit later. Okay, next we had the AAA Tag Team Championship match. Yeah, this got crazy here. You had Andrew Everett and DJZ from Global Force taking Aerostar and Drago from Lucha Underground. Yes, I know they work for AAA, but that's just where we know them from. The champions, Dark Cuervo and Dark Sciorra, taking on Monster Clown and Murder Clown from the Psycho Circus. Again, another crazy Lucha Libre match. And, oh, by the way, see if this sounds familiar. Anyway, the Clowns won because they got some assistance from Dave the Clown and Marty the Moth Martinez. And they won the championships. There was a little bit of blood. Aerostar did just a sick dive. Like they lower the scaffolding so he could climb up on it. He tells him to bring it up higher, so he brings it up higher and does this fucking sick dive. I kid you not, for probably at least 20 feet in the fucking air. I mean, it was, if he misses or somebody doesn't catch him, yeah, he's going to go splat. But that was but I think that's the only reason I would watch that. It's crazy here. Then we go to, oh dear God, skip this next match. The Torneo TripleMania 25. Basically, it was like a tornado match of trios teams. Please skip this. This was the biggest fucking abortion on the fucking show. It was supposed to be like you started out with 4 teams, and then every minute they were going to bring in a new team. And it just got, I don't know what the rules were, what was going on. Did you have to pin one member and the whole team be gone? Did you have to pin them individually? Then that was the team was it just got bad. I mean, bad. I mean, you had Guapos VIP, you had Global Force Wrestling, you had Heavy Metal Lancelot, Ricky Marvin, the Legends, which is Blue Demon Jr. and Perita Morgan, the Mexican Powers, OGT, you had Perros del Mal, Team Parka, the Team Whatever Los Incredibles, and the Vipers. Yeah, this guy, the reason why this fucking got crazy is because you just kept putting all these guys in the ring. Here's another thing. You had like a lumberjacks outside. You had actually like regular clowns and then Mascarita Sagrada and like this Mexican version of Kiss. And I hate to be so damn vague, but the commentary team could tell me who the fuck these people were or why they were out there. It took a while. We thought they were like teams. It's like, no, they're actually lumberjacks. They had these leather straps. So if anybody went to the outside, they'd whack them. And they started bringing in all these teams. And I'm not joking here, some of these teams just walked the fuck off. I mean, no, I'm dead serious. It's like they weren't pinned, they weren't submitted, they weren't counted out. They would just go in there, they would do some fucking shit, some more teams would come in, and then that team would just mosey on out. They would just leave the fucking arena. It got even more confusing because Global Force Wrestling got individual entrances, because I mean they were introducing all these like OGT, like Averno, Chessman, Superfly. They would come out, or Perros del Mal, Halloween, Mr. Aguila, Nextfly. They would come out together. But Global Force, they would come out one at a time. They first sent out Bobby Lashley, then they sent out Moose, and they sent out Jeff Jarrett, who started throwing tortillas in the crowd. Yes, that actually happened in 2017. And eventually, out of nowhere, Moose and Bobby Lashley started fighting each other. Then they walked off. Jeff Jarrett came out. He got his ass kicked. I think he got pinned. But a lot of these, again, I hate to be so damn vague, but that's just how fucking crazy this match was. It made no sense, nothing. I don't know what the fuck was going on. But eventually, La Parca won that tornado clusterfuck. And then the Latin Lover came out, and he presented La Parca with the Torneo TripleMania 25 title belt. Then we start getting into like I guess what you could call the meat of the show. You had El Macias, you know him better as Mil Muertes versus Pagano, another clown. Jesus Christ, Mexico, your obsession with clowns is fucking creepy. I wonder if the movie It's going to go over well over in Mexico. I don't know, just a thought. Yeah, guess what? That was a fucking street fight. It was called an Ultimate Consequences street fight. They went all over the building, and it went to a no contest because Rey Scorpion, apparently this was his debut, comes in, beats the shit out of both the guys. I mean, clocks them both, hits them both, basically breaks their legs or whatever, kayfabe, and the other guys have to be stretchered out. Here's the problem: the commentary didn't know who the fuck this guy was and why he was doing this. I mean, this is actually a pretty decent match up until the interference. Again, let me start over here. Let's see. We had the first two training matches, standard matches. This Revolucos Atomicos I told you about at the beginning here, that ends with like they've started bringing out chairs with that. The Arena de Arenas was basically a street fight, because they started using trash cans and chairs. The tag match that had weapon spots, a little bit of blood, and outside interference. The whole Torneo TripleMania 25 match was just nothing but a huge clusterfuck that made no goddamn sense. Then we get to another match here. These guys start bleeding, and then we have like a fuck finish. So I think with the exception of maybe like the trainees matches, we really have not had a clean match. We've had just constant weapon spots, blood, outside interference. I mean, it's insane. But Macias and Pagano was actually a pretty decent match. And I think Pagano's about to debut for Global Force soon, and I think he'll be a good get for them. Then we have a ladder match. Basically, it's a TLC match. Excuse me, a TLC match for 3 championships. Now, Johnny Mundo, he has been busy. I did not know this, and I learned something new. So he has apparently been kicking ass down in AAA. He is the AAA Mega Champion, the AAA Latin American Champion, and the AAA World Cruiserweight Champion. All at the same time. So he put all those belts on the line against El Hijo de Fantasma. You know him better as King Cuerno from Lucha Underground, and Tejano, who you're very, if you watch Lucha Underground now, you're very familiar with. So these 3 had arguably, in my opinion, probably the best match of the night. They did some table spots. They did some sick fucking ladder shit. There was a point where El Hijo de Fantasma got his mask torn. He was bleeding like crazy. Tejano was bleeding like crazy. Eventually, Hernandez and Kevin Cross came out. Don't ask me who the fuck Kevin Cross is. I've never seen him before this. Maybe he's a good guy. I don't know. I'd like to see more of his work before I can make a judgment on him. But they come out there. They kind of act as henchmen. They kind of help out just a little bit. They had some funny spots in here because the referee, who, by the way, was useless, is all fucked because he was constantly out of position, because it was like whenever somebody would go to a pin, like he would do it don't matter where he was, he would just do like this, like jump over to the opposite, to like across from where he actually was, then flop down on his belly, and then start counting, then start the count. So it's like in a normal match, some guy would have been counted 3 and already out of there, but this guy was so fucking slow and awkward. Yeah, anyway. But Phantasma gets part of his mask torn off, and he's bleeding. It's insane. Eventually, Mundo, he went through tables from the ladder to the outside, from like inside on the ladder off to the outside, going through tables, crashing through. They did the spot where all 3 of them were just kind of punching the shit out of each other at the top. It was actually pretty good, but Johnny Mundo wins. He retains. And then what happened afterwards was actually really good. He cuts this promo in Spanish, and thank God for the commentary team. This is where they actually came through talking about, what he was actually saying. And Johnny's Spanish is actually pretty decent. He talked about, this is the best moment 25 years. Then he called out Vampiro and asked him if he was man enough to put the championships on, because, this is the work shoot. This is where Vampiro just turned him screwing his girlfriend or his fiance out of the Arena de Arenas, and her quitting AAA into an angle. In English, Johnny called Vampiro a bitch made mark. He punked him out. He put the championship on him. They said, "Oh no, wait a minute, you're forgetting two more things." And then he spits on him, he slaps him, and eventually Vampiro has enough and he gives him a choke slam. The crowd goes crazy. He's gonna beat up Johnny Mundo. Then Tejano and Phantasma kind of wake up afterwards because they've been laying in the ring blame the whole time after this post-match thing, and they start fighting each other again. They have to get pulled apart. It was. It was the best. It was the best match there, in my opinion. Best match of the evening. Then we get to the main event. It's a mask versus mask match. It's Psycho Clown versus Dr. Wagner Jr. And it was a long match. I honestly, Dr. Wagner Jr., man, the guy's been wrestling about as long as I've been alive, which is a while. He took over for his dad. His dad, the original Dr. Wagner, had his career ended by a car crash. So you had Dr. Wagner Jr. kind of come in, take up the mantle, and wrestle. And now his son's wrestling, so his son's going to carry on the legacy. And Psycho Clown, he's actually the son of Super Porky and the brother of Maximo. And La Mascara. So, or actually, I think no, actually, La Mascara is his cousin, because when they talk about Lucha Libre being a family thing, they ain't fucking around. The majority of this match was Wagner just beating the shit out of Psycho Clown. I don't personally get the appeal of Psycho Clown, but he's fucking over. He's fucking over because people were chanting for him all goddamn night. But they did this spot where early on where Wagner tore like the top half of Psycho Clown's mask off, bloodied him up. And the majority of this match, I'd say not all of it, but I'd say a good 90% of it was Wagner just taking it to fucking Psycho, Psycho kicking out, Psycho trying to make a comeback. But eventually, Psycho Clown finally gets the upper hand. He hits his finishing maneuver. I think it's called a Yoshi Tonic. It looks similar to like a Canadian Destroyer, but it resembles more of a power bomb than a pile driver. By the way, pile drivers are illegal in Lucha Libre. He gets the pin, and Psycho Clown gets the win. Now Dr. Wagner Jr. has to unmask. There were people legitly fucking crying. Now I didn't cry, but I felt something welling up in there because it's just like Dr. Wagner. I mean, he's a legendary luchador. I mean, he's been a mega champion. I mean, he's done almost everything you can do. He came here to the United States for we finally got to see him wrestle, courtesy of Lucha Underground. So they put him on. So they puts on a long sleeve. It's kind of like a hoodie, but it was like a long sleeve shirt. And then Dr. Wagner has to give him gives his props, and eventually unmasked to reveal his real name, Juan Manuel Gonzalez Barón. He's 52 years old, so he's been doing this for a while. Psycho Clown just he accepts the mask. He really puts over Wagner as a legend. Says mask or no mask, you're a legend. This doesn't take away from your accomplishments. They celebrate. And by the way, this was just like a side note. His brother, Maximo, is actually a CMLL wrestler. And he was allowed in. Like, not only was he there at the event, they let him come in the ring. Which some of you are like, well, what's the big? This would be like when Bret Hart won the WCW championship, they allowed Owen Hart, who was working with WWF at the time, to come in the ring and celebrate, his brother's victory. This is what that's like. I just thought that was crazy. So all in all, again, I give it a loss because it was just constant. It was overbooked. There were too many people. There were too many fuck finishes. Didn't know what was going on. The commentary team didn't help, with the exception of the translations. They really didn't give me much on the history of who these guys are. Why should I care about them? What the history between these people? There was just a lot of just outside interference. And here's the thing: you can use it. Okay, what are the fucking rules? If this is like a by the books thing, somebody hits somebody with a chair, it should be a big deal. But if it's something like ECW, and it's like a chair shot is like the same as a headlock, okay, that's fine. Just let me know. Or is it like Lucha Underground where the referees just really lax with the rules because this is like the biggest event, there needs to be winners? Okay, that makes sense, but you need to tell me that. Outside interference, it kind of loses the controversy after the third time it happens. That happened a lot. Also, when you start tearing at someone's mask and you can kind of see who they are. I mean, for all practical purposes, Psycho Clown was unmasked. I mean, he had just this part of his mask left. That was it. That whole fucking match. But anyway, when you start tearing at somebody's mask and they're bleeding, I really wish they would have saved that for the final match because, they did, the commentary team did say that in Lucha Libre, if you take off somebody's mask, that's an automatic disqualification. Well, it's like, well, what do you do here in a mask versus match? I mean, I think that would have made more sense because it's like, okay, it's mask versus match. Well, if you unmask the guy, they both going to be unmasked. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, this is Lucha Libre. They did hype up how important a mask is for a luchador. And so that would have made sense why, Dr. Wagner would have went to extremes to protect that because he's been doing it for 3 decades. He needs to, this is his identity. This is his life. Of course, he's going to fight for his life here. But when you do that the match before and then you've done that a couple other matches when you start kind of tearing at the mask, I mean, it just kind of loses its, importance. It means nothing. So it was, if you're going to watch it, I would just say watch the women's match so you can see where all the controversy is with Sexy Star. I would say watch the Johnny Mundo match because that's the best match of the night. And then watch the main event just because, you have a legend that's unmasked. This, for all practical purposes, means this is it. He's done. He can never wrestle as Dr. Wagner Jr. ever again. And he's 52 years old. I'm pretty sure, guys, we just saw Dr. Wagner Jr.'s last match. And I think just that alone makes it worth watching. Maybe the Psycho Clown guy will grow on me. He really didn't really impress me all that much. I mean, the match, he didn't impress me with his wrestling skills. Of course, Wagner's a fucking legend, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants. But all in all, I really don't feel like this is the best introduction to Lucha Libre. I think Vampiro is going to have a lot cut out for him running this company. Because, I mean, this is either going to go one way or the other. This is either going to be like New Japan when they went through that malaise back in the early 2000s when they were trying to do that faux MMA bullshit. And eventually they had a company come in there, and an outside company came in, they took over, they created new stars. You had to have people like, Tanahashi, people like Nagata, kind of carry the company. Then they got the next crop ready, and then boom, they handed it off, and they just picked back up, and they kept getting better. So what I'm hoping is you have people like Drago, Aerostar, Mundo, now Psycho Clown, I guess, considering he's over like Rover, and then maybe the Psycho Circus. Maybe you can have these guys kind of hold down the fort until Vampiro can get these new trainees, this new class of AAA wrestling school, get them ready to go and create the next crop of stars and get them going. Or this will be, pardon the pun here, with the Vampiro, the last nail in the casket for AAA. So it could go either way. And I really do wish him the best of luck because, I don't want to see these companies fail. I mean, I'd say the more companies, the better. When you have healthy competition, the fans are the ones who ultimately win. So, all right. Actually, I got a few comments here. So, all right, guys. So here we go. This is from Fuck Your Feelings, Bitches. Do you fish, Boom Boom? I do not. Not that I hate fishing. I just don't have my gear. I don't have a fishing license, and I really don't have time to go out and fish. Like I said, I work 60 to 70 hours a week right now. I don't have a lot of free time. That's just why you're not seeing me on, do the YouTube stuff, because I have not had any free time to go out and do things for myself. And when I do, it's not that, it's not that, I don't have that much time to go out and do that things. I mean, hell, I've not really been able to work out. You can probably tell I've put on put a little bit of my weight back on, because I really haven't had time to, go hit the gym and work out as much as I do, or as I would like to, excuse me. All right, Heavy J, he says, I think, he's referring to Sexy Star. I think she would career in the U.S. for the next few years. Yeah, I think, because when you get a lot of people with some clout, like when you have people like Cody Rhodes and Road Dogg, trying to spread the word, then you people like Mike and Maria Kanellis, people who've got some got a little bit of, pull, and then they're telling the indies, look, guys, please don't book her. Just do this as a favor to us. They've got good reps. I mean, because you honestly, as an indie booker, I mean, I know you kind of want to get the controversy, but I don't think you want to do things to get, hurt your promotion. I mean, WrestleCon was the first one to pull the trigger. They cut Sexy Star loose, but they put Rosemary in her place. So there you go. Heavy J also says, welcome back, bro. That's good to be back. What did you think of the G1? G1 was fucking amazing. God, that was awesome. I love the finals. Naito, I think he's finally going to get the Wrestle Kingdom that he deserved, because when he first got it, it was too early. It was the wrong time. I was really impressed by Evil, of all people. Evil really impressed me. Sonata did a good job, but there was a lot of people. Juice Robinson, man, scored a huge upset. There was a whole night of upsets. Zack Sabre Jr. kicking ass. I mean, that's a guy who does technical wrestling right. So I was impressed with it. This is the first G1 I was able to actually sit down and actually really follow closely, thanks to New Japan World and the English commentary team and New Japan Pro Wrestling 1972.com. So what did I think about the Cena and Roman contract signing? I have no opinion, because I really, for the most part, don't watch WWE anymore. I watch NXT. I'll do that. On Tuesday and Wednesday mornings, I will go get onto the dirt sheets. And what I'll do is I'll kind of just read like the results of Raw and SmackDown. But that's about as far as I go with WWE. It's not made for me. I'm not their kind of audience anymore, and I'm sick and tired of being angry every time I watch WWE, feeling like I wasted my fucking time, being, how can they book these people this way? How can they not have good matches? And I'm just like, and even WWE's like, well, if you don't like it, don't watch. Okay, fine. You know what? I'm not going to fucking watch. I'll watch NXT because that makes me happy. I've got to get cracking on the Mae Young tournament. They've got about 4 episodes. As of this recording, they've got about 4 episodes they've dropped. I've got to watch all 4 of those. So I've got to catch up on that. But that's all. And I'm, and I do wish him the best of luck. I really do. I really wish all the talent the best of luck in the world. Triple H should hire Mike Tenay to do English commentary. He's very knowledgeable about Lucha Libre. Jay, I'm usually not a huge fan of Mike Tenay. I don't know what it is about Tenay and his voice and everything, and just how but I actually kind of agree with you, because I know he's bilingual. I know that he knows a lot about Lucha Libre, and I think that is somebody that would really help out. It's just because I want to know who these people are. Why should I care? What are their motivations? To me, I feel like that would be I actually think that would actually be a smart idea. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Mike Tenay, this is one of those cases where I would say, okay, yeah, I think Tenay's the wise choice on this one. All right. So if y'all got anything else to say, just let me know. All right. Okay, that's pretty much going to do it here for the show. But I want to say thank you, everybody, for bearing with us here. Like I said, it's been a rough year for us, but we're doing the best we can. As far as when we get back on, full time, back to the normal things, I would say at this point, I would say give it a few weeks, because I'm in the process of wrapping up my obligations with my second job and leaving that. Dave Coco's in the process of getting a new job, and Sammy's, we're gonna have to get together with him and find out what his schedule is going to be, and we can maybe work something out with him and uh, move along with that. So thank you for bearing with us. I know it's just been, nothing, a whole lot of nothing, but we apologize, and just thank you for supporting us. Be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, be sure to hit up LK at Loudmouth Wrestling. Be sure to subscribe to him, and Wrestling and Ranting, man. Wrestling and Ranting, man. He's been kicking ass with all those videos as of late. So please, like and subscribe to him. He's an awesome guy. So this is Boom Boom, and for the rest of the Coco crew, I want to say thank you very much. And the boom just went bang, and I am out.